How do I see your face up there? Your face. Oh,
I need to get that one. Now there's audio. Alright. I can like just up that, like get the first part out of it, so it's fine. But yeah. Hello guys, this is IRLF News, and this is Jake.
and this is Drew.
Oh my god, I need to. Alright. And there's the face. Let's go. Alright, so today's news topic is Arsenal first of all. So we're gonna talk about the transfers and about the seasons that they have right now at the moment, and possibly the the draw of the Europa League has already done.
Yeah, should have been, because Champions League's already been done.
All right, so yeah, we can talk about about the possibilities of those games, that like what will be the predictions and how they're gonna finish the Europa League this season. And most importantly, are they gonna win it? But yeah. But first of all, we need to start from the beginning. So let's just talk about the seasons they have at the moment and how they are doing in this season.
But I
So
thought Arsenal made Champions League.
no, they are in the Europa League.
I swear they didn't finish second, but they got Champions League football last season. So
Wait,
they reached Champions League, didn't they?
wait. Oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, yeah. They are in the Champions League. Sorry, mate. I was watching the 2022 season, I guess. But yeah, fine.
I
But
I
where's the
I
start of
knew
the
they were.
season? Alright, first of all, they won the Community Shield this season against Man City. And what do you think
Yeah,
about that result?
Community Shield's pointless in my opinion.
Yeah, they start the season
It's just
quite well.
it's pre-season at the end of the day.
Yeah, they
But
start.
start of the season, they did well, apart from the Fulham game, which they could have done better.
Oh yeah, they started the season with in 4 games they have 3 wins and 1 draw, and that was a great start. And then they win against Everton,
They
and
had
then
a disappointing 1-0 win, I think, against Everton, because
oh
they
yeah,
should have done a lot better than that 1-0 win.
oh
But
yes,
that's Arsenal at the end of the day. You can't
yes,
expect so much from them.
yeah, and the PSV Eindhoven home game win 4-0, comfortable. And I would say disappointing the game against Tottenham, because only 2-2 draw. I think
Yeah,
they should
but
done better.
Tottenham were with a new manager, so to have a 2-2 draw when they're up against a new manager and a new style of Tottenham, and they're without Harry Kane, so Tottenham were playing a little bit better at the start of the season. So I think it was a fair result, and Arsenal could have done better. But at the end of the day, to not be beaten by your rivals is a good result at the end of the day.
Oh yes, and of course the EFL Cup 1-0 win against Brentford. That
Yeah.
was that was
So the
expected, really.
Brentford one was expected, but at the same time, I think they should have got more than one goal at the end of the day.
Yeah. What is your opinion about EFL Cup in general?
It's a, I like it, but at the same time, I feel like the way I know the draw's random and everything, because they have to pick out the ball and with the numbers and all sorts. But I don't think for some teams it's just ridiculous. Like, look at Man City, for example. They get drawn the most easiest draws, if you look at a lot of their Carabao Cup wins over the years, they've had a lot of easy draws. So I
Yep.
don't feel like it's that random. Because how is one team getting so many easy draws and then one team is always facing tough oppositions? Which,
Oh
yeah, I feel like it's got to be rigged a little bit somewhere.
yeah. Or they just incredibly lucky. But yeah. And in the Champions League, they have lost against Lens from France, of course. This the dark horse of the group, I would say. And that was a tough one because that was away game as well. So and I would say Lens. Did they? Wait, I need to see it. Did they? No, this is Premier League table. I will look. Okay, we'll be looking at the
You know,
the table of
you
the
know a
champ.
quicker way to do it. Just click on the Arsenal Lens game, and then it should come up with the table.
Oh yeah.
Shouldn't it?
And of course,
Oh, maybe not.
the watchers, the viewers, this is Finnish, so this is not English. So bear in mind that there might be not language barrier a little bit, but it's kind of everybody knows something about it. It's not like that bad. And then they win against Man City at home in in yeah, I would say a good result for for Arsenal, but Man City was expected a little bit better.
But to be honest, like, what you expect, like, Arteta with Arsenal and being under Pep Guardiola, you would expect Arteta to at least beat Manchester
Competitive.
City at some point. So he
Yeah.
was kind of like what you would call Pep's understudy, and then took on the Arsenal job. So you kind of expected it's almost like a BTEC Manchester City when it came to Arteta going to Arsenal.
Oh yeah. And of course, the next game, of course, was against our Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So it was quite difficult game to go to away from home as well. So again,
Yeah,
but
a difficult game, but if Arsenal look back at it now, it should have been a winnable game for Arsenal because of the way Chelsea seasons have gone. Chelsea haven't had the greatest of seasons, and yeah, so it should have been a winnable game for Arsenal, in my opinion.
most definitely because Chelsea is let's just say they have the tough season so far. Like 2 seasons, they have been not themselves. So they have like a lot to learn.
Basically, with Chelsea's side of things, I know we're talking Arsenal, but with Chelsea's side of things, they overspent on people that they thought were going to be good enough, but I feel like we're probably a little bit too good for mid-table teams, but not good enough for teams that need to get into the top four.
Yeah, and let's not forget the Chelsea. There's like a couple of seasons ago, Chelsea won the Premier League. So it's like one of those ones that Chelsea's like tough
But
period,
yeah,
but
but it's not the same Chelsea team that won that league
oh yeah,
that
not
is playing today.
no.
It's a complete different Chelsea side. They've got overaging centre backs. They've got spending too much money on players that have been overpaid, in my opinion, for the transfer fees that they paid for them. Like, look at let's just take Manchester City, for example. Let's just take when they brought Gabriel Jesus, when they brought Julian Alvarez. They weren't paying as nearly as much as what Arsenal, or no, what Chelsea were paying for Enzo Fernandez. It's ridiculous, and I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea get a transfer ban at some point.
Once again, but yeah, then they were away from home against Sevilla, that has a reputation of winning Europa Leagues, but not Champions League. But that was 2-1 win, so I would say very really good result. Especially that's the third game in the group, so that's one of those ones that if you win, then you have like certainly like kind of guaranteed, but not really to really
You
making
gotta give
make it.
credit for Arsenal for how they've done in the Champions League because it's first time in Champions League in a long time. You could almost say about if they had carried on going into Europa League, you could almost say like 10 years or something,
Oh yeah,
almost since Champions League, and they've just no one. No, I don't even know if Arsenal fans would have expected
yeah.
them to get off to the start they did in the Champions League.
Oh yeah. I remember like it was 2015 I think when Barcelona played against Arsenal in Champions League in their group I think. So it was like the last really my memory about Arsenal in the Champions League I think. I could be wrong, but
My, I remember my last memory of Arsenal was they were getting thrashed by Bayern Munich. Was my last memory.
oh yeah, that was the, that was that was a spanking.
Seven, I think it was like 6 or 7 goals because Tottenham also had a similar result in a different season.
And yeah, that and then they faced
But
Sheffield United, sorry, in home
Sheffield
game
United,
five
I was
zero five
expecting
nil.
result.
Yeah,
Sheffield United are one of those teams that I don't think have the quality this season to survive, and Arsenal gave them what they deserved. So
yeah, expected result. And then they have two games in a row. Surprising results. The Sheffield, of course, they get knocked out by West Ham in EFL Cup and 3-1. And then they go to Newcastle away from home, 1-0 down, 1-0 lost.
to
So
be
what do you,
honest, I wasn't expecting Arsenal to get far in the EFL Cup. They're more of a team that gets far in the FA Cup. If you look over the times where Arsene Wenger was in charge, he had only really won the one Premier League, from my memory, and he was mostly dominant in the FA Cup.
yeah, and I don't think let's respectfully that the Arsenal doesn't have the the squad depth and quality enough to be in the squad depth to be like challenging every trophy that there is. They have to little. I think they have to choose either FA Cup or EFL Cup to be really successful at, so they don't really get to get both of them, and especially these seasons because they are in Europe in the Champions League of
I, Another problem with Arsenal, I think, is that they're trying to go for a young squad. And if you look back at previous Arsenal teams, like even ones that were challenging for like FA Cups, and even the one that won that Premier League, it wasn't a young squad. They had a mixture of young, old, and a lot of experience. The
oh
Arsenal
yeah.
that bottled it, I think a season ago now, were a young squad. They didn't really have the experience to get over the line, which I think they need to add to their team because too many young players is just meaning that you have to give them more time to become more experienced within these competitions before they can start winning them.
Yeah, and then they got wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 winning streak, and that was a and first one was Sevilla home game 2-0, and then Burnley home game as well 3-1, and then Brentford away from home 1-0, and Lens of course 6-0 win home game, and then final one was Wolverhampton 1-2-1 win home. So what do you think about the Sevilla result?
That's a good result for them because it's Arsenal. Sevilla were always probably going to be on everyone's mind. One of those teams that's just going to finish third in their group, get to Europa League, and then get
Wait.
quite far and possibly win it. No one expects Sevilla to even get out of the Champions League group, I don't think.
No.
I would be even surprised if any Sevilla fans were thinking, right, look at our group and be like, right, we'll be top two. No, Sevilla fans were probably already had Europa League in their mind when they saw their group.
Oh yeah.
And then Burnley was expected because I don't even though Vincent Company has the quality as a player in the Premier League, I think he's still a bit inexperienced and Burnley don't really have the quality and I don't think um, Vincent Company has the quality to be able to or the experience to get Burnley out of relegation. So
Oh yeah.
Arsenal have beaten them would have been a good result for Arsenal because it would kept them in and around probably top four. But at the end of the day, Arsenal haven't really had that many challenging games apart from when they were playing West Ham and Newcastle. But now we're going to, as we kind of got towards August, kind of, we will start talking about their summer transfers.
So yeah, and of course those ones were the one things that we need. Let's see. Okay, the transfers. Let's go. Let's go transfer market.
So what we're going to do is we're going to filter this out so it's just summer transfer only, as we did have the winter transfer that is just gone, but that will come later on in the video.
Yeah. Let's see. Where's that?
But we will start talking about also the different formations that Arsenal might have used or not used as well, but that will be later on.
There we go. So today, of course, we need. These are the latest squad, but we are not gonna be doing the transfer rumors. I'm gonna go current season transfers. So it's not gonna be seeing other.
But this will be transfers part one because we will talk just summer transfers,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
so
that.
you can filter out.
Yeah, I need to filters out. Winter transfers only. Display.
That's
All right.
winter. We're talking about summer
Oh, all right.
because we just
All
got
right.
to the end of August.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Not that I can all of that, but you know.
Okay, the first one was Declan Rice, of course, with 116 million. What do you think about the price tag, and would you say that would be worth it, or was worth it?
Uh, Not really going to complain too much about the price tag because stupidly, because only this is only happening with English players. They're getting ridiculous price tags on them. Look at Jack Grealish. He was at Aston Villa. Yes, he was good at Aston Villa, but price tag wise, I think was just too much for English players, to be honest.
And
Like,
I like,
Declan Rice was
yeah,
playing in a West Ham team that, yes, he was outperformed because West Ham don't really have what you would call multiple star players. So, but at the end of the day, he's going to be with other quality players around him. So he's gone to the right team, I think, because I don't think he would have fit in straight away whether a Liverpool or a Manchester City. So Arsenal was the right choice. But do I think they could have paid less for him? Yes. But sadly, from what I've read or heard somewhere, that Man City were apparently trying to go for him, but Man City didn't want to, didn't go through with it, so which led to Arsenal paying more money when they found out City were going in for him. So was that part of City's plan to get Arsenal to overpay? Who knows? But Arsenal overpaid a little bit for Declan Rice.
I would say Declan Rice would be worth, let's just say, I don't want to like downgrade or anything, but I would say more likely to be accurate rating of being like 60 or 70 million. But I don't know if the 100 million would be accurate a little bit. But yeah. All right, then we
Uh,
get.
the paying around 100 would have been accurate because they didn't pay anything less, I don't think, than
Yeah.
100, so that would be accurate.
All right. What
What's the
about
next one?
Kai Havertz?
If we're going based on the start of the season, flop. If we go based on around now, he's kind of slowly becoming valuable to the Arsenal team because he did help. Oh, what game was it? It was against Liverpool. I think he was key to one of the goals against Liverpool recently. So I wouldn't say he's 100% a flop. He's one of those players that is slowly improving throughout the season.
I think Kai Havertz is one of those ones that you need to give time to get like gelling in and not like it's not gonna like be like ultimate hit. It's gonna be like slowly but surely. All right. What about Urian Timber from Ajax to 40
Can't,
million?
I can't really question about that because I haven't seen anything or seen if he's been in. I don't think he's even played much this season, so I can't really judge him. So
Let's see.
not really sure about that for that one.
Of course, we can go and see how many games he has played. Oh, he has only one appearances.
He picked up an injury, I think.
Yeah, and he has okay expect return in February 21st, and he has the critical ligament tear. So yeah,
Yeah, he
he's
picked it up in his opening game, I think,
I don't
when he on his debut.
yeah. I think Timber, Timber is only like 22, so you need to give him time because center backs needs experience. So it's good to
I
give
couldn't
him
really
time.
judge that because I knew he had the injury, so I couldn't really judge on
Yeah.
just one game.
Then we can move on to the David Raya move from Brentford on loan.
I really don't get. He's a good keeper. Don't get me wrong. He's a good keeper. Should have just stayed at Brentford this season. I think. I don't know what Arteta's doing. Like they was all praising Aaron Ramsdale last season. Why did he have to go in and get another keeper? It's just beyond me why he had to go and loan in David Raya. It's beyond me. He's brought him in. David Raya's now taken number one spot. And if Ramsdale doesn't get the game time again like he was getting last season, then I think Ramsdale's time at Arsenal is going to be up. And I think Arteta is just slowly but surely ruining Ramsdale's career at this point.
And Ramsdale is quality goalkeeper, so there might be some Premier League sides that will be very very interested. So yeah, and Florian
Well,
Balogun to on
when it,
loan.
when it came to Ramsdale, I was surprised that he even went to Arsenal in the first place after having back-to-back relegations.
Oh yeah. All right. Um, and then we can move on to the Florian Balagun. What do you think about his move on loan to Stan Renames?
And that one ended, if you read
No.
it properly.
Oh yeah, he left to Monaco.
Yeah, they sold him.
Yeah, but that move was later. That was a winter move, I think.
No, it says departs to Monaco. It was a summer one.
Oh yeah, it was in the departure, but yeah. All right, and Nicolas Pepe for Nice.
His loan ended. He got sold, I think. Pepe got sold.
Oh yeah, he left to Trabzonspor in Turkey. Oh,
Pepe was overrated, overhyped,
flop.
and Arsenal overpaid. So they kind of needed to get rid of him.
And yeah, we can move on to the Nuno Tavares that is on loan in
His loan,
Marseille.
and he moved.
Oh yeah, he moved on loan to Nottingham Forest.
Can't really judge him because I don't really know anything about him. I know nothing about
This
him.
might interest you. No, it's not interesting. God damn. Okay, Albert Sambi Lokonga to Luton Town. He
Good
might
for
be.
him that he's getting 15 minutes. That's all I'm going to say about that one.
Oh yeah.
All I'm going to say about that.
And of course he let did he? I think he arrived in from France. I could be wrong. Wait, I need to check that out. If I don't,
No, I think he was. Wasn't he an Arsenal Academy player?
or
If
was
I'm
he?
not mistaken.
Oh, it was. He came from Anderlecht from 2007, 2020, 21 to 22 season. It was
Alright.
17.5 million. Oof. But don't forget he's only 24, so he has time to show what he can do.
But is he going to be, with his age, does he have the qualities to be an Arsenal first team player? Or is he running out of time to be able to get into that Arsenal first team?
Oh yeah, definitely when he wants to be like, of course he has the he has option to go other nation than Belgium. He can like become the national team player of Congo, I think, or was it?
But the question is how many youth, who has he played for in his youth internationally? That's the question.
I think he played for Belgium, but if he doesn't like get to opportunities to come to Belgium national team, so it could be benefiting his career to be choosing the Congo one. And he has been 2000. He has already made his national team debut for Belgium. So technically, but I don't know if that's official game. So it can be like friendly. So he can choose still the national team if he is if he decides to change. But yeah, Pablo Mari is on loan in Monza, 29 years old, and he has been sold officially in for Monza for permanently. And I think that was a good move for him because I don't know why did Arsenal even bought him in the first place.
So pretty much that's the same situation as the winger Pepe,
Yeah.
basically.
And then of course we have the 31-year-old Cedric Soares that has returned to Arsenal from his loan.
I
Uh,
know he was out on loan, wasn't he?
yeah, he was on loan in Fulham.
But I don't get why Southampton never let him go in the first place. To be honest,
Yeah, I think Southampton needed him. But yeah, what about
they
Arthur
should not
Ocon
have let him. Arsenal, what? Who did you
Arthur
say?
Arthur Okonkwo that is on loan in Wrexham, 22-year-old, half Nigerian.
Oh, the goalkeeper, isn't he?
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken.
and he has 19 games and he has conceded uh, 19 goals and he has 8 clean sheet so far in League Two. So I think he has done extremely well because first Wrexham season to be in the league, in the football league. So yeah,
Whereas the first season back is not first
yeah,
season in the
first team.
football league. It's their first season back because they've been in it before. So not bad, not bad. At least he's getting experience. I don't think. End of the day, I can't picture him in the future in an Arsenal kit. I can picture him somewhere else.
I could see him in the Championship or League One goalkeeper. I don't know Premier League, but Championship or League One.
It depends on like what his price range is going to be at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
or Scottish
So
Premier League
when
side would be. I think Rangers could be good move. But yeah, what about Runas Alex Runarsson, the from Iceland that is on loan in Alanyaspor in Turkey?
I will have no clue because I've never
Ooh,
heard of him.
okay. Okay. This is a little spoiler of the winter, but he has sold in winter mode to Copenhagen, so to Denmark. But yeah, I think that is really good move for him because he can like challenge for the title and play in Europe possibly. So I would say that was a great move for him. But then we have one more, Charles Saigo Jr. and he's on loan in Swansea City.
Could be a good move, but end of the day, I know nothing about him,
Yeah,
so
he's
couldn't
a
tell
left.
you any
Yeah,
if he's got any qualities or whatnot.
yeah. He at the moment he's left winger. That is market value is 500,000 euros. So not the highest, but he's only 19 years old. And at the moment he has only one appearances in a championship, so and one in a league, in the Carabao Cup, or EFL Cup, but. So I don't think he's gonna be continuing that loan spell in Swansea. If I would be him, then I would be choosing to return and then loan out for somewhere else where he could get more game time. But then we move departures, and Bolakun of course left to Monaco for 30 million.
I
Uh,
think that's a good move for Balogun.
Yeah.
because there was glimpses when he did get given his opportunity that he was good enough to probably stay in and around and be a rotational first team player. He reminds me a bit of like Diego Garrigui a little bit. He could have been one of those players to come off the bench and could have done something, but just
Mm.
wasn't given enough opportunity by Arsenal. He went out on loan last season to I think Stade de Reims, whichever club
Stade
that
Rennais. Yeah.
English manager was managing. That was getting like fine. Apparently, the club were getting fined every time he was managing, or every game or something. Where he literally scored a goal, I think, if I'm not mistaken, against PSG. So yeah, he's going to be good for Monaco, and hopefully Monaco can keep him for a few years. And yeah, and hopefully he can eventually come back and return to the Premier League and prove why he should have been at Arsenal in the first place.
Oh yeah, because I think, yeah, this is my personal view. This is my personal perspective that I think Balogun is a little bit better than Nketiah. So I don't
No,
know.
I think Nketiah's good. I think Nketiah's got a little bit more, what I would say, qualities for the Premier League more than what Balogun had at the time. Hence why I hence why I said I hope Balogun comes back to the Premier League because I
Oh
think
yeah,
him having that move somewhere else is going to help him for when he comes back to the Premier League. I don't think he was Premier League quality to, before he got his move away from Arsenal.
yeah. And what do you think about Granit Xhaka to leaving to Bayer Leverkusen?
Uh, that was a good move. He would ruin Arsenal at some points. Like he got given captain's armband. Even when he got subbed off, he just wasn't showing the captain qualities because he was just getting moaned at. He was making fans dislike him. He was getting red cards, more red cards than most players from other teams were getting, and he was just letting the side down in a lot of the games. Yes, he has quality, and when he doesn't get sent off, he could be a game changer. But good decision from Arsenal to get rid of him because, quite frankly, he was just dropping the mood. I think in and around that dressing room, and when fans are not liking players, then there's no coming back from really being booed unless you given consecutive good performances. So maybe a move away, and maybe that'll be a lesson learned not to get red cards next time.
And of course, Granit Xhaka has experience, past experiences from Bundesliga, so that I would think personally that was perfect move for him at the moment, and it has been showing from Bayer Leverkusen's performances this season. Of course, no losses so far, but and hopefully we'll be winning the league without any kind of losses. But you will be seeing in the, of course, couple months from now. So, but yeah, and of course, Bayer Leverkusen just won against Bayern München. I think it was quite heavily. I think that was like 4-0 or something like that. But yeah, so I would say personally for him, really good move. And yeah. And what do you think about Matt Turner of getting sold to Nottingham Forest by 8 million and 150,000?
That's good because if I'll take this for example, remember I don't know if anyone remembers this because I forget his name, but you will see who I'm on about in a minute. The guy who moved from MLS to Manchester City, goalkeeper, just like what Turner did, but to Arsenal instead. And also that didn't work out at Manchester City. It also didn't work out the same for Turner at Arsenal. So to move to a smaller club even though they do have a big kind of history a little bit, is a good move for Turner, and hopefully he can get a lot of game time under playing at Nottingham Forest.
Oh yeah, and then of course other American that they sold today in this summer is Austin Trusty to Sheffield United to Premier League and 5.8 million euros, and 24-year-old centre back. I think like in the centre back, if you're not like, let's just say 24, you 24 to 26, those are the years that you are expecting to get the game time, that the getting the like the best game time of your career, because after those years, they then you can like be more like the role model for the younger generation, because you have experience and that. And then of course Monza signed Pablo Mari from Arsenal 4.9 million, and I think once again I say this, and I think that's a great move, and I don't know why did Arsenal even bought him in the first place, but I think they have like injuries possibly for centre backs, so, or possibly I could be wrong, and that's why they signed him, and I don't remember where did he came from. Where did he came from?
No idea.
Oh, oh yeah, he came from Flamengo. Did he? Yeah, he came from Flamengo. From, oh yeah, he was originally he was in the Man City academy or City squad, but then he got sold to Flamengo, and then Arsenal bought him and loaned him out once again. And what the? Oh yeah, and they 6 million to Arsenal. All right. Oh yeah, he was loaned in as a and having an option to buy, and they bought him after that loan, and then from Brazil to England. That's interesting. And of course Kieran Tierney loan, and they have probably option to buy, but from Celtic to Arsenal, and then Real Sociedad to Spain. That's kind of interesting career change. And what is your opinion
Yup.
about that?
Uh, don't really have much of an opinion on Kieran Tierney, to be honest.
Yeah, and of course Rob Holding, the long-term, player for Arsenal, has left to Crystal Palace for only 1.2 million. So that is a cheap deal for the Crystal Palace.
I mean, actually, I don't think it was 1.2 million because I think, if I remember correct, I think it might have been a free, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think Crystal Palace paid anything for him, if I remember correctly. I swear Arsenal let him go, and then Palace brought him in. But anyway, let's. He was he was one of those players that I can't remember what I was watching. But I remember watching this one Arsenal game for when first season he was in, and when I saw a commentator mention something about Bolton, I was like, he came from Bolton. I was like, I don't know, already playing a game for Arsenal. I was like, meh. I was surprised when he came from Bolton to start with. So to be honest, I'm surprised he's gone from Bolton to Arsenal and been there as long as he has. But I guess there's just been better quality players that have managed to start ahead of him. So
Yeah, And of
Crystal
course you
Palace will
have
be a
yeah,
good move for him.
and of course you have to think about there was a past injury problems with of course with Holding, and I think those injuries holding him back a little bit. So I think that it was a great move for him to go like a little bit step down a little bit of a of the team of getting the game time, of course, because he's already 27. So it's like if you think about the career that most players have, like it's not gonna be like always gonna be the longest career, and I would say he has like let's just say mm, at least 5 more good years, and then he retires if he get can like stay out of the injuries. But yeah, and then we have Marquinhos on possibly going on loan to Nate, but I think he has come back and he has an option to go to Fluminense. I think it was in Brazil, so that could be. I think I'm not personally. I think that's a little bit. There was this player from that was in Inter Milan. It was the Gabriel Barbosa. Uh, he was he was bought at same time as Vinicius Junior. So they thought him would be as good as him, but now they end up selling him back to Brazil. So I think this is gonna be a little bit of a similar story that Arsenal will get him on loan and then most likely be selling him back to Brazil. I could be wrong, but hopefully I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I don't like the people that flops. I don't like flops because I like to everybody succeed. But yeah, then we got of course Ainsley Maitland-Niles left to Olympique Lyon. I think that could be a really good move for him, especially he's now 25 years old. So that's gonna be a good experience for him. And what do you think about will Maitland-Niles play for England or will he choose to go to Jamaica because he has the option?
To be honest, when it comes to the two countries like that, really depends because we've had a player, Mikel Antonio, who had the two options, just like Maitland Niles, and quite frankly, it took Antonio a really long time to make his decision, and he didn't make his decision until he was like late
30s?
20s or
Yeah, lightweight.
early 30s or something. So, to be honest, I think that saga's going to go on for a long time, I think.
Oh yeah, and
Because I
imagine.
think when you had England and Jamaica in the two sentence, is trying to choose between one of them. Most of them are going to try and play for England to start with, because I think England's going to be the main one, and Jamaica, I think, for a lot of these players will be like the
Backup plan.
step for them. So if it doesn't work out for England, then I think the players are realizing, oh, I'm never going to get this England team. I may well go to Jamaica or something.
Yeah. All right.
Jamaica's not really, for a lot of players I've noticed, not a first choice.
Oh yeah. And now we can move on from Arsenal to we're gonna go to Champions League groups that we have this season has been done so far. So what do you think about Group A finish that was finished by this way of Bayern München being first and then Copenhagen and Galatasaray and then of course Man United at the bottom?
Mm, the way Onana's been, not surprised United were down at the bottom. Bayern Munich, I think we're always going to top it either way. Don't think
Oh yeah.
United will ever, even if United were to go out the group, they were never going to finish first. So Bayern were to win it, and I'm surprised Galatasaray weren't able to finish second.
Oh yeah, I was, if Man United has to go out, I would say Galatasaray would be the second one in the group, but it turned out to be like this. But Bayern München, of course,
Yeah.
is gonna be the first, definitely. 100% of the time it would be like this, but But then, of course, we've got to move on to the Group B, and this is for Arsenal as well. So they end up, of course, being first place with 12 points. Uh, so yeah, PSV, of course, second, and Sevilla is fourth. So Lens is finished third one. So what do you think
Did you
about this
say
group?
12? Did you say 12 points?
Wait,
It's 13.
wait, they have
Because
six
they had
wins,
4.
4 wins and one loss and one tie. So say they have. Oh, sorry, 13
Yeah, so
points.
it's 13.
Sorry, I look at the
What,
wrong thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
You looked at the thing at the end.
yeah. All right.
Uh, Not surprised about that group, but only shock is Sevilla being fourth.
I was expecting to, Sevilla having a little bit more wins and a little bit less, like at least draws, but they have only like 2 points out of this group. Like, oh my god. Like I was really expecting them to be like in third place, and Lens would be the bottom one. And of course PSV, like all the Netherlands teams are a little bit like unpredictable. They can finish anywhere really in the table, so it's kind of hard to
Unless
say.
you, unless they're Ajax.
Oh yeah,
Ajax tend to kind of get out of their groups sometimes.
yeah. And of course Arsenal has only one loss and one draw and 4 wins, so that's a very good record to go to in the knockout stages. And then we move on to the Group C, and Real Madrid with the perfect record of 6 games, 6 wins, and Napoli second, and Braga and in third one, and Union Berlin last place with only 2 points.
So
I was
basically, it's just like Group B, pretty much, with the only surprise being probably Union Berlin not doing a little bit better, but at the same time, this is probably accurate with probably most people's predictions.
oh
So,
yeah.
not surprised. No, I am surprised and not surprised at the same time.
You are surprised that you are not surprised. Excellent. And then Group D, and we have Sociedad with first place with 6 games and 3 wins and 3 losses. Oh, sorry, 3 draws. And then we have Inter Milano in second place with goal difference, and Benfica third, and fourth is Salzburg. I think my only surprise with this one, I think, is I was expecting Inter Milan to win the group, and of course Benfica would be the second one. But Real Sociedad has been really good in Europe, so good for them. But Salzburg was expected to be last in 100% of the time.
I'm not surprised about this group, to be honest.
Yeah. I think this is like one of those ones that, if you like think about these teams, I would see them in Europa League. I wouldn't see this as Champions League group. But yeah.
The only one if I was to be surprised, would have been the Real Sociedad swapped with Inter Milan.
Oh yeah,
That would have been
definitely.
the only. That would be the only thing I would have changed if I could manually change it.
Yeah. And Group E, and Atletico Madrid win with the 4 wins and two draws and 14 points in total in first place, and Lazio will be second with 3 wins, 2 losses, and one draw. And then Feyenoord and Celtic Glasgow will be the last place, and Feyenoord third. Would you say this would be accurate?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
And it's just a good thing that Celtic at least got a win.
Oh yeah. That's one of the things that they can like celebrate a little bit, because this was tough group that like every like everyone could be going through. So that was like,
And also, from any of these videos we're doing when we're talking about the teams, if you also would like us to manage these teams in FM as well, then put that in the comments and tell us what kind of thing you would like to do for us to do on FM, for example. If you want us to rebuild Arsenal, or let's just take, because we'll talk about Arsenal, for example, rebuild, or do like a long term thing where we try and outlast Arsene Wenger, for example.
that could be very good idea. So leave in ideas in the comments.
But you
But
can also mention about the other teams that we're flicking through when it comes to Champions League as well.
yeah, and of course that everything there's no bad ideas. There's only ideas. So put in the comments. But yeah, and then we move
But we,
on to Group F, and Dortmund finishing first, and Milan third, and PSG second, and Newcastle the last place, of course.
before I go on about being surprised or anything, I felt Newcastle
Yeah,
were cheated by referees and VAR.
I think Newcastle deserved a little bit more than they get from this group, and I would say that they deserved at least the third place, in my opinion.
VAR gave a penalty in one of their games which should not have been a penalty.
Oh yeah, and I think Newcastle like they get like unlucky with their draws, because they have they have 6 games and 3 draws. So if they have at least one more win, they could be in where
Isn't
AC Milan is.
isn't it two draws?
Oh yeah, there's 2 draws. Oh yeah, I'm looking at this longer. Ah, god damn it. Okay.
Even though it says a T, and I still figured out it was a draw somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how I figured that out. 'Cause I
You're a
knew L
genius.
was a loss. I thought it would have said D, but I
Yeah.
guess in other countries they use a T, I guess.
Yeah, because it's in Finland it says tasapeli. Yeah, that's why there's T in it. But yeah. And then Group G is Man City dropping the group, and Red Bull Leipzig the second, and then third is Young Boys and
No, no surprise whatsoever.
when wait Krečvena Čverčda. Okay, that was the best I can do. But yeah, this group was really expecting to come like this, so nothing that we can like say that was nothing but expected. And of
But
course,
I do
final.
give back a second. I feel I saw something there.
Uh-huh.
But I do give credit for the team who finished fourth for getting a draw.
Oh yeah, and it let's see what. Yeah, it was against
It was
Young
again,
Boys.
it's a bit obvious there because City and RB Leipzig haven't drawn a game.
Yeah. Ooh, and of course Man City with the perfect record with the 6 wins in 6 games. But yeah, at the moment, Barcelona top the group and Porto with second in only in goal difference, and Shakhtar Donetsk is the third one, and Royal Antwerp will be the last place.
Uh, Accurate, I would say, but it's just shown that Barcelona have decided to want to play proper football again, I guess.
Yeah, and fair play to Royal Antwerp to have one win. So it's very good to see that not like all the teams can like dominate. So there's gonna be like these little teams that can let's surprise a little bit. And now we can go
Yeah.
to some stats of players and see who is the top of the have the most goals and most assists and red cards and yellow cards. So at the moment, Alvaro Morata is top of the goal scores
Wait,
score.
I'm sorry. Man United knocked out and Rasmus Højlund with 5 goals.
Yeah.
Surely not.
And then there's like there's like
Okay,
four different first places. Oh,
Højlund,
Bellingham.
You're definitely not getting the Champions League Golden Boot.
Oh yeah, especially when there's Haaland and those team and Bellingham has like 4 goals, but I think he's gonna score a little bit more than 4 goals at the moment.
Come on,
But then
Jesus.
and we have Jesus of course, and Harry Kane and Lois Openda and Evalinson and Julius Alvarez. Those are the top 15 I think. And then in assist we have Bakio Saka with 4 assists and Jude Bellingham with 3. Alright. I would say
I think when Gundogan moved to Barcelona, I think he's been a little bit key in that midfield.
oh yeah, he has been excellent replacement for Busquets. But I was
I think he, I think he was kind of more like the Frank in recent, more like the Frank Kessie replacement.
yeah. And Harry Kane with 3 assists as well, so not too bad. And Tomiyasu with the 3 assists. And then there's this Matthew O'Reilly with 3 as well for Celtic. What do you
To be
think
honest, we've
about?
got to focus on the more on the top because they're the
Yeah,
ones still kind of in the Champions League.
yeah. And of course, yellow cards only will be Yunus Musa with AC Milan with 4 yellow cards. He's a dirty boy. He came
Yeah, but
from
if you go back to Jose Mourinho Real Madrid final group stage game, no, it was a game before the final group stage game, second to last. He told 2 players to purposely get sent off so that they had a clean record, missed the last group stage game, and had a clean record because apparently they would fly through the knockout stages.
oh yeah, I remember that was against Ajax. Wait, it was like Jose Mourinho time, so it was like for Ramos and
Yeah,
Xabi Alonso to get the red
yeah,
cards.
but they all got fined.
Yeah. And then the things that we don't want to see in football but is red cards. And Lucas Ocampos is now at the moment first, but there's a lot of in the first place, so there's not a lot of red cards. So what? How is? Oh my! if there's like two with players with two red cards, why the first place is one red card? Like, bruh, that's kind of funny. But yeah, and that's about it from the Champions League. And of course, ottelut, matches are like this. So Red Bull Leipzig will play against Real Madrid. Copenhagen will face Man City. And Lazio will face Bayern München, and PSG will be playing Real Sociedad. And Dortmund will face PSV Eindhoven, and Inter Milano will make Atletico Madrid. And Napoli will face Barcelona, and Porto will face Arsenal.
So
What do you
yeah,
think
so
about these draws?
Arsenal kind of got a repeat of what happened, slightly the same but different. What happened in the Europa League, where they got draw in the knockout stages to a Portuguese side,
All right,
and then
now
got
we
beaten
are
at home.
yeah, and I think we are at the moment in the part of the video that now it's all about predictions. So what do you think about Red Bull Leipzig against Real Madrid? What is gonna be the result of that game?
If RB Leipzig can play anything like Manchester City did, then Leipzig could have a chance. But Real Madrid to go through both legs if it's a two-leg thing. So
Yes, it is.
yeah, so Real Madrid to go through.
Yeah, and then Copenhagen against Man City.
Man City should absolutely demolish them.
Yeah, respectfully, Copenhagen, I don't think you have a chance. So
Copenhagen, I would recommend before the game even kicks off to make sure your suitcase is packed already.
yeah, and the plane tickets are already bought. But yeah,
Of course,
and
they're going to be brought.
all right, then
Yeah,
we buy München against Lazio. That could be very interesting because Lazio can like and I know there's like slim chance they can like surprise Bayern München, but it's all about how they gonna play at home, and of course the away game will be tough for Lazio as well. So it's all about the
yeah.
home game. So
So
I would say Bayern München goes through.
Bayern Munich, Bayern Munich to go through, but I would also say Lazio to go through, narrowly to go through if they were to go through.
Yeah, yeah, it's like one of those ones that they're literally like they're not the same level as Bayern München, but they are a level that they can surprise them. But then
Yeah.
PSG against Real Sociedad, that could be interesting because if you look at the Real Sociedad record in the Champions League at the moment, they have been very good, so they could have like momentum. But I don't think they go
Uh,
through.
Real Sociedad go through.
Yeah, now let's just say they win 3-1 at home, and then they played 1-1 draw at home at away. They go through. Real Sociedad go through.
Yeah.
And PSV Eindhoven against Dortmund. That could be.
Dortmund go through.
Yeah, Dortmund will go through. And that's not like that's gonna be a close game. So it's like how
I
I
think I think Atletico Madrid will go through against Inter Milan
oh yeah, Atletico Madrid will be
because
probably going through.
I think Atletico Madrid to be very very defensive will shut Inter Milan out at home at their play, and then it'll be the home tie for Atletico Madrid to decide it.
Oh yeah, especially if the first game that they have is gonna be against away from home, so that's gonna be tough. And I think that's that's their tactic. They can like to get like defensively better at the first leg, and then the second leg will be more likely to be more free for them, so they can like freely play more attackingly and all that, because the first leg was, get to get the result that they wanted. But yeah,
Yeah.
Napoli against
Napoli,
Barcelona.
Napoli to beat Barcelona.
Oh yes, most definitely will be happening. And FC Porto was done against Arsenal. I think Arsenal will go through, but it's not gonna be easy away from home.
I think Arsenal will go through.
Yeah. All right. What do you say that would be about the fixtures and the transfers? What do you think? Is there anything else that we need to talk about Arsenal?
So we talked about the first half, but we will come back with a part two for each clubs. So that's kind of a bit of part one. So not much unless you want to talk about history.
Mm, I would say we have been good. So good part one, and hopefully you guys will be enjoying this, and we'll watch the part two, and that will be happening later. That will happen probably like next week. But for now, this has been ARLF News, and this is Jake,
And this is Drew.
and hopefully you guys will be coming through and see this. We will be like looking at all the teams that in Premier League, and of course other teams as well. So there's gonna be a lot of news that we will be talking about. But yeah, that will be the next one. See you in the next one.